My name is Dr. Bar 2. This is PillTalkPodcast coming at you live. I have a special guest, Marlon Hamilton. Today, we're going to give y'all your daily dose of medicine, motivation to live at your full potential. So, everybody, Marlon Hamilton, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here. Glad to talk to everybody out here on your show. So Let's get started.
I'm glad to have you. This is a special episode because I actually know Marlon in real life, like we're friends. And he told me about his company, Specialized Orthopedic Services, a while ago. And I was intrigued about it because I had an injury and then just learning more about that. But before we get into more detail about his company, let's first get to know Marlon a little better and understand how did he get to this place and start in the company. So Marlon, so tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get your start?
Okay, so I went to the Navy when I was younger. Graduate high school, you're not sure which way you want to go. Mm-hmm. Decided to go into the Navy, spent some time in there. And when I got in, I knew I wanted to be in the medical field. My whole family's in the medical field. Some doctors, some nurses, but basically that's where I was steered to. Stayed in there for some time, did all my medical learning through the Navy. Then when I got out, started working on the outside, spent some time going to college at George Washington University. And then when I finished up everything, decided to get back and stayed in my field, which is orthopedics. And I guess what I would say is being in the business for so long and being competent at what I do for so long made me wanted throughout the orthopedic industry for my field, for my specialty. So now I manage braces for a lot of hospitals in the DMV area. And I'm known to be one of the, people that handle their business really well.
Nice. So, all right. If you don't mind talking about it, let's talk about your Navy career and how you got into the orthopedics within there. Okay. So was it a particular job or something in the Navy that you took up that got you into orthopedics?
Actually, when I was in the Navy, and the way they do it, you go to core school, which is the medical side of the Navy. Mm-hmm. And then once you do that, then you have to pick a specialty. And they let you walk around the hospital and kind of just look around and just see what you like. So I'm walking around the hospital, I meet somebody that's in orthopedics. And we start talking and have a nice conversation. He showed me around. I met a lot of different other specialties too. But when I saw that one, it really intrigued me. And I actually went in during the war, Kuwait War. So when I finished core school, I got sent to Bethesda Naval Hospital before it became Walter Reed. And knowing that I wanted to be in orthopedics, talked about working in at least on the orthopedic floor. Did that, and just so happened that because of the war, everybody got sent away. Which opened up the door for myself to now go to school and learn the orthopedic specialty. So became a ortho tech in the Navy. Finished up. When I got out of the Navy, wanted to stay in the ortho field. Did that, but there's a lot of other steps. In orthopedics, you can be an ortho tech, you can be an orthotic fitter, you can be a prosthetist, you can be an orthotist. So I went into those different specialties and decided to manage them.
All right. So before we get a little further, just in case some of my viewers don't know what it is, can you break down what the specialty of orthopedics is so people can understand what exactly we're talking about that you do?
Okay. Well, ortho is bones. So when you're doing orthopedics, you're actually working on the skeletal system, the musculoskeletal system of the body. What we do is we're bracing, we're mobilizing, we're allowing the body to move in a correct manner because of injury, because of just health issues, because of genetics. There's a multiple reasons where you can need an orthopedic specialist, which is a doctor, and then an orthopedic orthotic fitter or orthotist, which is like myself. And the doctor will refer you, and then they'll refer you with your diagnosis, what you need, and then we could turn around and take that information and get you something that can help you out down the road. Orthotics, everybody wears them.
So what is an orthotic, just in case somebody don't know what that is?
Well, it's funny because orthotics, people think of them as the actual footwear. When you put your shoes on, they put orthotic inside your shoe. Mm-hmm. That's actually correct and incorrect at the same time. Because orthotics also mean medical bracing. It also means just what you give the person. So an orthotic could be a shoe insert. Orthotic can also be a back brace. Orthotic can also be an elbow range of motion brace. It could be a cervical collar. All those things could be considered orthotics. Okay. And they also could be, and in the medical field, when you're talking about, when we're talking, it's considered DME. Yeah. But when we're talking to a layman, it's considered orthotics.
All right. So just on that right there, you just mentioned the term DME, durable medical equipment.
You're correct.
So you just gave us a little preview of it. Do you want to go a little bit in more detail about DME and the type of services that provide, or a little more information so people can understand what a DME is?
Sure, I can actually show you some braces. Would that help?
Man, that's a great segue. Please show us what DME is, durable medical equipment is, so that the people can see and you can demonstrate the braces.
Okay. So I got I brought some extra stuff with me, knowing that I'm gonna be here today. I'm gonna pull out some DME items. So this one right here looks really simple. This DME or durable equipment device or orthotic is an elbow range of motion brace. So it has like 4 different names already, but it's elbow range of motion brace. And basically what it does is if you have a patient and the patient hurt their elbow, but the doctor wants to either mobilize it or maybe put it in a different position, they can take this brace. You can actually, I'll do it one time. They can take something like this, put their hand in it, and after they do that, right, put their hand in it. Let me see something here. I got long arms, so I always got to make it longer for me. All right, this might be long enough. Put their hand in it, and now, once I strap it all the way up, the arm will be totally immobilized in this position. If I want it straight, it'll be straight in this position. But basically, this is an off-the-shelf model. And what I can also do is take their arm, make a mold of it, and make a custom model that's exactly like their arm. Let's say they were, either extra long or extra short or extra wide. We would have to make a custom model, the same thing. But you can get it, a generic model like this, put this on. And if it's an average person somewhere in the range of small, medium, large, extra large, this would usually work. And it's probably the fastest and easiest way to treat somebody. When you think of something being off the shelf, they can get it right away. You think of something being custom, it might take 2-3 days to get it. So obviously it's better for us, better for the patient, in that if they're in the right situation to get something that's off the shelf versus something that's custom, because you can get it right away. Nice. So this is one. This is probably the most seen one. When you think about football players in college, linemen, when they're in college, they have to wear knee braces, something similar to this one. And they wear them prophylactically. So they wear them so that they don't get injured while they're in college, so they can end up going professional, healthy. We wear them as patients when we have a knee injury and we want to have support while we move around. The funny thing about braces, though, something special like this one, is you're not supposed to know it's there.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be used on you, and it's only really working when you're going out of the norm. So if you're wearing a knee brace like this, it means your knee is functional, but different parameters it shouldn't go in. And this brace is to help that control the parameters. So in general, the whole purpose is just for the brace to stay on. And if you go outside the parameters, for the brace to actually work. So a lot of times people put braces on, they don't know the reason why. One of the things that we always mention when we put a brace on somebody is it doesn't matter if I give you this brace or whatever brace that costs $1 million. If you don't wear the brace, it don't help you. So one of the things that what my job really and truly isn't to really give you the brace. Anybody could do that. My job is to make sure you wear the brace.
Educate you on the purposes of the brace so that you know.
And make sure you like the brace. Make sure you're comfortable. Make sure, you know what, it's something I do want to wear. It's something I do want to tolerate, you know? And if not, you know, maybe I say, hey, if you're not going to wear it, you don't need it. Maybe you try something different. Maybe you go back to the doctor and you'll go through another plan. This could be actually plan C, or it could be plan A. So maybe depending on, you know, what you see with this, you decide to go to a different route, you know?
Yeah.
This is something, it's not a brace, but it falls in the line of DME. So this isn't actually a brace. It's actually a cold therapy unit. So what happens is you take this, you wrap this around your leg. Let's say you go to therapy, right? And you go to therapy. After therapy, they want to ice you, right? So what happens is you have to stay now after therapy because you need to be iced for 5-10 extra minutes, which really isn't a long time to be iced anyway, but it's still 15 extra minutes, 5-10 extra minutes staying in therapy after you already been there an hour. This DME, not really a break, but DME is like the solution to that problem. Instead of staying there, you get the ice packs, keep the ice packs in the refrigerator at the therapy place. You walk out of it, you have a pad, you have your pad and everything already set up. You take the ice, you put it inside, you wrap your leg up, you get out of there. And now you're icing on the way home, which, you know, could be 5-10 minutes or it could be a half an hour. But now you have ice on the way home, and then when you get home, you still have ice. So you ice again. So this, to me, as far as DME goes, probably one of the best things ever. Because one, it gets you out of therapy faster, and two, it actually gets you icing for the amount of time you need to ice for, you know, which isn't 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah, that's some good information because I remember when I had surgery when I was in 10th grade and having to go through a lot of recovery, a lot of physical therapy, having to wear DME equipment, the brace on my leg, which was called the mobilizer.
Range of motion. Is it range of motion knee brace or a knee mobilizer?
A knee mobilizer. So they didn't want me to move my knee at all.
Yep.
So I had the metal brace with the big things, the big joints in the side, where I actually had to walk with crutches because I couldn't move my knee.
Yep.
And understand the importance of having the braces, and because it did help the recovery process to get the weight off of the injured leg or the injured part of my body so that my body could take the time to recover.
Yep.
And then having the, when in my bed, I had the mobilizer machine where I would lay down and it would move my knee.
CPM machine.
The CPM machine.
Continuous passive range of motion machine.
Yep. The continued passive range of motion machine. I had that. And I think I had to get my knee up to at least 45 degrees or 90 degrees.
Yep.
And I would just lay in bed all day and just have to do that. But understand the braces and the importance of it. So that ties back into the beginning of this conversation when I was like, he told me about his business and I was very intrigued because I'm like, yo, I had to go through some things like this. So the items that you produce, I had to use at one point in time in my life. So, Marlon, can you tell the people about the business a little bit of how do you get the clientele in, and then how do you decide what is the right DME for that person?
All right. So as a DME provider, right, you're not a clinician in the sense of you're not the initial clinician. You're a clinician in the sense of you're treating the patient, but the initial clinician is the doctor, you know? So you develop relationships with different doctors, different facilities, and you develop relationships based on your reputation, based on your services, based on your speed, based on your personality. And because they want somebody to treat their patients that have a good personality, service the person the right way, do it in a timely manner, and do it correctly, you know? And so you develop a relationship with the doctors, the entities, medical hospitals, things like that, or places like that. And you'll get referrals from those places. CVS pharmacy or different pharmacies, Walgreens or Target. If you don't like that pharmacy, you're going to a different one.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the same kind of concept. As these are facilities, they all offer the same services, but who do you like better? And the work that you put in, you should enjoy, and if you enjoy it, it'll show because you're going to do the same work for everybody. It's going to show that you like it, and service will come.
So the work that you're getting is from referral programs, basically doctors seeing the work that you provide, seeing the service that you give your customers, seeing the ability for you to actually take a person that needs the DME, putting them in the right actual equipment.
Correct.
And then seeing their progress as they develop. And they're like, you know what? If he did this for this person, I know he could do it for the next person.
That's right.
That's right.
And actually, it also falls upon the patients too, because it's not just give the patient a brace. You have to develop a relationship with the patient, because if you don't, and that patient's not happy, it works out against you as well. So, and you're not going to get 100% happy people all the time, but you shouldn't get 100% angry people all the time. You know what I mean? So, they're not happy. They're not happy in general, because I wouldn't be happy either if I had a situation in my body that wasn't working, correctly. They're not supposed to be happy. And you're supposed to understand they're not supposed to be happy. That's an individual that's not happy. And you might not be there to make them happy. What you're there to do is to make them get past that physical moment, do everything possible to get them past that physical moment. If you could do that, then you did your job, As far as making everybody happy, that's a hope, And if you do the same consistent thing time and time again, you should be good enough at it that hope becomes fulfilled.
Definitely. So as specialized orthopedic services, you're able to see a wide range of people, and help a wide range of people. Can you think of an instance or a scenario when you helped a patient, and how did it end up on the other side? Like, what kind of service you provided for them? And as you see them progress and healing, what was the outcome is the question.
Oh, I work in a great field for that. So there's a couple of fields that you work in. If you're a therapist, hopefully you're seeing patients and you're seeing them after injury, and you get to see their progression. So I'm in the same situation where if I see a patient, a lot of times I'm seeing a patient on the plus side. In other words, they're going to get better. I'm doing this for them to help them get better in the long run. So yeah, I'll see a patient that had a knee surgery, and I'll brace them up, and 6 months from now, they're back, or 7 months. It's really a year, but 6 months from now they're back enough. And in a year from now they're 100%. So we see that. I see that all the time. I also see patients that you look and you say, man, they're really bad off, and they're still smiling. that makes me feel good at the end of the day, because you're like, for their situation, I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
But they still find a way to be happy.
They see the silver lining in everything, and knowing that it's going to get better.
Or they know there's no silver lining, and they're comfortable with that, and they know they got to move on and live their life and be happy, and at least be functional however you can, at least, not be miserable.
Yeah.
There is a reason for you to be miserable, but not to be miserable. You still have that option that you're under your control, whether you're miserable or not. Yeah.
So you treat people from surgeries to non-surgical. You give them braces. You see them along the progression. So once they progress, right? I know a lot of people probably have a question about this. Once they progress, do they come back and you change out the braces for something else so that they're able to get more functionality? Because, like I said about me, I had the demobilizer, and then I had to go back, and they were like, okay, you're able to have more range in your leg now. Right. So let's switch you to a newer brace that still gives you support.
But does it differently.
But now you can move your knee. Now you can start back on your journey of trying to run or walking upstairs.
Right. And yes, that is possible. Do I personally deal with that a lot? I don't, because I deal with more real trauma patients. So I'm like the first step, and which is, patients that are more hard up, and need more help.
Yeah.
And once they get better, there are other places they can go, and they can still come back to us. They can still come back to me. They can still come back to other people in the company, but there are other places that they can go, and they'll still get treated either by me or somebody else, but it's set up so that I can do and really pay attention to the really hardcore patients, and then filter it down the line as things get easier. And it's not, for instance, you with a knee brace, you go from range of motion knee brace, which the surgical one, or the knee mobilizer, you get a range of motion knee brace, allows you to bend. You go from that to another knee brace, maybe a custom sports brace, something like that, to get you really running. And then you go from that to nothing, or from that to a knee sleeve. So it's a downward progression of different things you need. You know what I mean? I try to stay at the highest part of treating the patients. In other words, so they come out the ER, they come to see me, they come to have surgery, they come to see me. And then as they get better and they move on, they can move on down the line. I don't try to take every prescription necessary. There's a lot of people in the business, a lot of people in the field, and they can all handle different parts of it, and it actually works out better because you get seen in a more timely manner. If I was to try to see everything and everybody, it might be a good thing for me financially or whatever else. But as far as the patients go, would it be the best? Would it be the best thing for them to have to wait, extra 2 days to get in to see me for something that's not that technical, that they can get from anybody else? They can sometimes even order for themselves and figure out themselves, spend an extra $10 to figure it out themselves. Sometimes that's even better than waiting for somebody that has an appointment schedule,
Yeah.
And for me, it's about the patient. It's not about anything else but the patients getting treated and getting seen and getting healthy again.
That's what it's all about, making sure that when patients come in, they get the quality of service that is needed, right? Like you made a great example. Like, you can serve 100 people a day, but the quality of service is not going to be ideal. So it's better to serve your niche, do what you do perfectly, and do it 100% good, so that the next person knows, like, when I go to you, when I come to specialized orthopedic services, I know I get individual attention and top tier service.
Correct.
Yeah. So if anybody's out there listening and they want to know, man, I may be coming up to surgery soon or something like that, and I want to have Mr. Marlon Hamilton deal with deal with my braces and have him help me individually, and they want the type of service that you provide because you providing that top tier service, where can you let these people know to go to so that they can be able to contact you?
You can go to the website, which is Best Ortho Services, which is SOS Ortho. And you could just Google that, SOS Ortho, and it'll come up. We're based out of Vienna, Virginia. We have a phone number, 703-281-1200. And then you can go there, and there are other clinicians like myself that will help. Or if you came to the facilities I work out of in DC, I would always be there to help you out and make sure things go well.
All right.
SOS Ortho. SOS Ortho.
All right. So, and he just told you, if you want to get in contact with him or his colleagues, you can go to SOS Ortho. That is ORTHO.com. Or you can also give them a call at 703-281-1200. So, Marlon, I appreciate you coming on today, talking about specialized orthopedic services, giving us a demonstration on some of the products you provide, letting everybody know about durable medical equipment, DME, and everything that you do, and the specialized service that you provide for your patients. So I appreciate you today.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate this.
So this has been another episode of Pill Talk Podcast. Stay tuned. We got more coming up for you. We just finished year 1. So welcome to year 2.